Hi. Hi, everyone. So welcome back to Beata and Bloom. I'm Beata, and this week, as I kind of said on my Instagram, I have a special guest, my sister Eden. And do you guys like our PJs? We're Rudolph Center. We're festive. It's December after all, so you know. But anyway, so thanks again for coming back. And before we get started, I always forget this, but if you haven't already subscribed, please hit the button below. Like, comment, and all of that good stuff. So we're getting into Insecure this week. We just watched, and this is the first time I watched the same day live. So props. Thank you. Actually, I feel like it was you. Hey, hi, Favor. Favor saying hi, Eden.
Oh,
hi, Favor girl.
I don't have my glasses, so I can't read any of the comments.
No, Shalene, I don't like your PJ. Okay.
Like
You know
mine,
what? You know what? Exactly. So if you don't like mine, that means you're insulting Eden too. So watch it. Watch it. Oh, now you're kidding. I'm kidding. Anyway, so yeah, we're diving into Insecure and the 7th episode. So that means that it's only 3 episodes left. And this one is called Chilling Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sass. Thank you. She said we look cute. We look beautiful.
Yeah, please translate for me because my
yeah.
glasses are
Oh no, not the blind.
Yes,
I mean, but yeah. So this episode, I think overall there were things in there that were not intense, but they that meant something, like substance, I should say. But there was moments that kind of was just light too, that didn't have too much stuff to like dig into.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like I guess let me just go through the points that I wanted to bring up, and if you have any things that you want to cover in addition, we can go through that. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing is most of the episode it occurs in. Oh, you just finished watching? Okay, good. I'm glad you finished watching too. So it was okay. Okay. Let's talk more, and then you can, we'll get your feedback too, and seeing of, what parts you agreed or what parts you don't agree. Anyway, so most of the episode, it's girls' night. They're staying. Well, first of all, I think the intention is to hang out at Issa's house and then do the thing. Can't wait to here, English, here with the ear. Ooh, I can't touch. I just got a piercing, by the way, right there. We both just got a piercing, so so when you say it's applicable. Anyways, distracting. We're distracting. So most of the episode it's centered around girls' night.
Yep.
And the girls are coming over to Issa's place to hang out and then go to dinner and like do a spa day or whatever else. Just good old fashioned time. And they discovered that they really didn't do that. They hadn't done that in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that was nice to see them just kind of catch up, play games, drink, smoke one up, light it up, as Kelly doesn't drink anymore, so she was mainly just hitting them soggy blunts, as she said herself. But yeah, I think the main part that we got from the girls' day is that they're playing the game, which is fun in games, but there were some kind of trigger points that were brought up. What question do you think during that game that you were like most intrigued by or interested in the episode?
Well, the question about the exes brought up something for Issa and Lawrence, so that kind of spiraled in the rest of the episode because Issa's later trying to contact him and she's still thinking about him and asking for
which is
advice.
A problem
To you?
What do you mean to me? Like,
there's a lot of people that want them together.
Okay, but wait a minute. So for me it's like, so you're having a disagreement or something is happening with your current boo, your current guy who you guys just became official and you just told this man you love him, like probably yesterday or the day before. I don't know the time lapse of things. And now you guys are kind of in a fuzzy situation and you're reverting back to your ex. Like that's because the way she was acting during that game and during that girls' night, it seemed like she was more pressed about Lawrence and Nathan. She was like, let me just start over. I could start over. I've done it before and I'll do it again. Which is like, yeah, that's great. That's how it should always be.
But she had also just seen both of them at the hospital, him and Condola at the hospital. So you have to bring that into effect that she hadn't seen him in person until recently. So that brings up more emotions. Plus, he was supposed to have been a whole other part of the state.
Yeah.
So for him to be back in their home.
But she said, like it was inevitable that they're going to run into each other.
Yeah.
She just didn't think like it was gonna happen then, just that day caught her off guard. But what is that? But it's still the energy that she was giving, as far as her and Lawrence and how her friends were questioning her. It was just, I was like, who is your boyfriend, girl? Did you forget you do have a boyfriend, first of all? Like, you're not giving Nathan any sort of, like, she just kind of dismissed the whole Nathan thing. It's like, oh, we're going through something, but it is what it is. I could start over. I don't really care. And just didn't like that. Of like, okay, so if you really like him or love him as you supposedly, blurted out, which I don't believe that she truly loves. I think she has love for him, but I don't think she's in love with them or love. But she used.
But I think he loves her. I don't think she loves him, but I think he does love her.
I think he loves her too, like cares for her.
No,
but I don't think
he loves her.
I don't think he's super in love with her because he's got his own demons to battle, and
you
he
can
is
have
doing
demons
so.
and love someone.
It's true, but I don't know. He's sporadic. As much as like she's all over, Issa is annoying. Oh, in what way, girl? Yes, she is. But what? Which part?
So you agree with Molly that Issa should stop trying to be with Lawrence, but I agree with Tiffany, who was like, sometimes a stupid decision doesn't, just because it's a stupid decision doesn't mean it's the wrong decision, or whatever. However she was wording it,
like a safe. What was it? Is it safe? Stupid and the right decision or the correct decision or
it's
something.
It's not always
like
going to be the same. It might it might be stupid to most people, but
so
it makes sense.
So you condone that type of behavior to be calling a nigga that you're with someone right now and you have issues, and then you're reverting back to.
I mean, to each their own. That's her business. I don't know if I would do it, but go ahead. If you really want to do this,
confusion. And then okay, let's move past that part.
She's gonna do what she want to do, regardless.
She is. And the thing is, of course, I knew he was gonna call her back. He was gonna call her back. Like, girl, this episode had my hands in the air. Which part, girl?
All of it. I'm with you.
Like, what? The characters were confusing to me. Which ones?
All of them.
All of them, but what part directly? But anyways, another question that I thought is key enough to bring up is the question of like of their friends' exes, who is the most attractive that they would. And of course, the almighty, the fan favorite, Daniel, Mr. Daniel. I was gonna say Daniel Caesar, but no, not him.
Not Daniel Kaluuya.
Far from that. Not Daniel Kaluuya either. Daniel the ex. Daniel, I don't know his last name, so let's just say. He didn't have a last name. It was Daniel. You know who the Daniel is, period. He doesn't even need a last name, just like Mariah. She got a last name.
Okay, I was like,
Beyonce. But
she also.
I know, but what person?
Cher.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
you for this.
Madonna, yeah.
But can we mention somebody else?
Cher.
We did that. Okay, fine.
But can we also talk about, speaking of an ex, Dro?
Okay, that was weird.
So random.
Strange. Because I was like, he's been gone like 4 seasons ago. Like, this man still.
And I don't think they ever really closed out that conversation, but that was so random. And I'm glad Molly didn't answer the phone, but it makes me think, is the end of this, there's only 3 episodes left, is he coming back somehow? And are they gonna? What? I don't know, but why would they have left that? Why would they have did that?
I do too. Of like, okay, they didn't just plant like a slight seed. It's gonna blossom into something further. Yeah. It's true. It's another confusing mix. Yes, girl. Yeah. So that's what we're saying. Of like, we feel like they did kind of just plant a little seed in there, and they want us to like, you'll come back. Come back. It's all cyclical. So yeah. So that part of Friends. I think, and then the big reveal that Tiffany is likely gonna move to Denver because her man got a job, and I don't know. I just thought that part more than anything I connected with when they were having the girls' night. As far as maybe it's just because it imitates kind of current life and where we're at an age where friends are going kind of in different directions, which is great. I mean, look. So first of all, I'm in Texas right now visiting Eden.
Giving my address out.
What do you mean? I'm not saying anything. That's too much. I'm visiting Eden, where she lives. Where she lives. And that's great. Like, I think you can still remain good friends and close and just, like, tend to those partnerships and be intentional about the people that you love, whether they're close in proximity or not. So I think I felt her of, like, the nervousness of, like, man, maybe this is the right move. Like, on paper, this makes sense. However, I'm like, I don't want to like actually admit it that it's gonna happen. I don't know what to do. What if something else happens to me, I get another pregnancy and I go through another rough time, nobody's watching.
Good. Damn.
Who's... Girl, stop playing with me. People will watch. I think the context of your comment we didn't get. So let me just say that. Cause
I got it. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. So that's how you feel, favor. You know what? Vamos.
Okay, we got.
Actually, don't go. You're the only person here.
Stick to the script.
Anyways.
But to go along with that, I think she also brought up her postpartum depression and how she had a community there to help her through it, and she's worried because they might have kids in the future. It might happen. But I like seeing that because she's like the least. Out of the 4 friends, she's like the least. It's gonna sound bad, but relevant. Like she's the least.
Because
reoccurring.
Because it seems like she has a little bit more of her life together, but they don't concentrate on her. She's not
Exactly. She's not as essential as them. So it's interesting because I think they're slowly going to start ending these people's storylines.
Yeah, it's true to
closing out. So that's how
I love it. Yeah, I did feel that way too. Like this is a good closure for her.
Yeah.
You know, to just kind of push her towards that direction. Yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah. As far as 3 episodes left. So yeah. Okay, I'm taking my. Okay. Whatever, girl. I'm not reading anymore of your. Okay, girl. Thank you, favor. And then let's talk about Lawrence and Condola. They seem to be in a much better space, co-parenting, and they're actually giving each other compliments and, you know, just acknowledging of like, hey, you're a good parent. You know, I see the work that you're putting in. You're a good father. You're a good mother. And just, she's letting him eat her takeout with her. You know, like that was like, okay, so now we here washing dishes too. Oh, wow. Like, so what did you think? And then there was a sense of like, okay, there's this lingering thing, which I'm hoping that they don't play into of like, let's try this again, of like to work it out romantically instead of just kind of keep where we are and what's working as co-parents to what it is. What do you think? Like, what kind of vibes did you get? Because you could tell that they've grown and they've matured and they're trying to work it out, and it looks like they're doing a much better job. Hey, Victoria. Hey, sis. So yeah, what did you think about their partnership as co-parents?
Well, I'm gonna wait till we get to another part of the episode because I think that'll play into it. Well, when Issa called Lawrence and then at the end Lawrence had called her back, I think that's gonna play a big part into whether he and Condola
actually
do anything together, because I feel like for him too, the way Issa was saying their closure, she needs closure, whatever that really means.
Yeah,
I think he is kind of on the same page. And I'm also interested in how much time has passed for them to Condola and Lawrence to get to this point, because it seemed like just yesterday they were arguing and cussing each other out, and he was talking about he might try to get the baby himself, or he's going to see the baby
in court, this and that.
But, I mean, I guess time heals.
I mean, it does, and the thing is they didn't have time, because remember, at that point then he called her immediately and saying, hey, you know, I'm not going down that route, and I just want us to work it out. Let's figure this out. And it looked like maybe even just a month or so, because he got resources. He could like up and leave real quick.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to carry his one box and try to ship it and organize logistics. Like, he's not tied down for financially. Thank you, Victoria. Victoria said our PJs are cute.
Hey, thank you. I like the way you're translating. Like,
right? Yeah. I mean,
yes. Thank you.
You can't see, but yeah. So. Kind of like you said, like just going off the Lawrence thing of the closure. For me, it's like, okay, Issa girl, closure for what? What closure? Like you know what the situation was. You saw what it could be if you insert yourself or you withdraw, and you chose to withdraw, which I commend you honestly for making that decision, because it's hard when you love someone, but you see that, hey, realistically, is this gonna be an environment conducive to our love? And it just didn't seem like it with the baby, the baby on deck. So I don't know what further closure. Like, okay, do you think she should have called him when the baby was born?
No. Or I mean.
Okay, so what the heck? What else? What closure?
I'm talking about to your point that they couldn't work. I think if they wanted to work, I think it could work. I think because it doesn't make sense for maybe me or you personally in our life, but we wouldn't be in her shoes. That doesn't mean if two people really love each other and the circumstances seem so wild to us.
It's
on the
wild.
outside,
It's wild.
But they can make it work if they really about
but
it.
But also knowing who Issa is and how just
she's a mess. She's a whole mess. I get it.
Having that third party is not gonna help. Like she already communicates kind of in a jokingly manner or like just avoiding conversations, you know, until it kind of piles on. So with Condola in and out, she's gonna be like, yeah, I'm okay, go see your baby, go do this, be a good father. But then she's feeling abandoned by her partner, you know? So I just did not see the longevity of it, of them actually. They could have tried longer, but I think it would have escalated and then would have ended in a bad manner. So I applauded her for making that executive decision and just saying, hey, before we even get down to like the baby actually arriving, this is what it is. I mean, she didn't say as much, but I felt like her actions said it all. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't think they had of like, oh, this is the reason I can't do it because of this, that, and that. Some things are just better on set at that point. Like he knew that, hey, it's a lot to ask for someone to, you know, that I'm just trying to figure it out with again. So I don't get about the closure. I think she just wanted a chance. And then when her friends were also saying of like, oh, we saw them together and they didn't look as cute and this and then and put together as you probably imagine of what you saw in the hospital. And she did kind of have like that twinkling in her eye of like, oh, wait a minute. So maybe it's not so rosy and maybe there is still like a chance. Because I was thinking toward the end of the episode when she was talking to Nathan and he was like spewing out his feelings like, oh, actually, I do love you. You know, I just, you know, you've pushed me into actually communicating my feelings. She kind of seemed checked out, to be honest. So for me, she just didn't seem as invested of like she was so happy about actually hearing that back as she was anticipating. Or maybe she would have been earlier if he would have said that instead of she kind of just pushed that out of him. You know what I mean? So maybe that also has something to do with now she kind of has a little bit background of how Lawrence is doing.
With the Lawrence,
it's like maybe that's still a door that needs to be knocked upon a little bit more, which
I just
don't do it. But
I don't imagine. I can't see her in a healthy relationship. I can't physically, like I can't.
Have we ever?
Because we haven't seen it. So
we haven't all 5 seasons. So girl, how about a happy relationship with herself? Yeah, let's start there.
And work, but she. I personally think Nathan is healthy to me. Like he seems a little more stable to me. I know other people might not think so because
for himself or toward
as a person, just as a person.
As a person, okay.
Yeah. Issa standalone is not to me.
Okay.
So how can So even if they get together, it's same with Lawrence. Like even if they get together, even if she gets together with anyone,
it's gonna be an imbalance.
It's gonna be the same kind of problems because
it's true.
She's not stable. Or I don't know how you would describe it, but she's not.
She's just sporadic.
Yeah.
She's literally she fluctuates constantly. So yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean, I think Nathan is a great guy. Again, he's a great guy. He's learning. He's trying to figure it out. He does eventually gets to be accountable for what he did and all that. So he's not necessarily just avoiding everything. And when you call him out of it, he's just gonna whatever he does, withdraw, which is not a good thing. Some of us do. But anyways,
also,
what? I don't know. I was just now I feel like I'm about to be attacked.
No, but also if this show is a reflection of us, of
this
20s to 30-year-old black and just people who are dating.
Mm-hmm.
All relationships are so fickle these days, so it makes sense that the show is not oh, here's your happily ever after with one person or other. It's very reflective of I feel like the average person, for the most part. And
trying to figure it out.
Yeah, they're gonna keep on dating for. I mean, who knows?
But that's how it should be. Yeah. But for me, I think the issue that I have with is continuously making the same mistake with the same people. When you know that, hey, fundamentally, there's an imbalance. There's an imbalance in this connection, and it seems like if we're not addressing that core foundation, it's always gonna be there. So for us to kind of be like, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna figure out things, but then we'll loop back around. Keep making mistakes or figuring it out or figuring you out and what you want. Maybe with new people. Maybe that will help change the game, Mm-hmm. Because I don't know, maybe you're not growing as much. I mean, sometimes it is said that you have to keep on making the same mistakes until you learn. But God, how many times do you have to make the same mistake before you actually learn? So, I think overall, the other thing was just at the summer party, Torian, when Molly picked up the phone and she was acting all giddy and like, hi, oh yes, yeah, that'd be great. We got the kind of voice that you turn on when you kind of have a crush or like you're talking to a prospect. Yeah, that was the impression that her friends were kind of teasing her and like. So, what are your impressions? Because I know I talked about it last week a little bit of like, I would like to see a little bit more of how they interact, or even just Torian of just who he is really, because I don't really see him. They've seen him in other contexts except for work.
Yeah.
But he seems caring. He's calling her apparently and checking in on her and asking about her. And
I feel like he has seen the worst of her because at work she was doing the most before, and he has.
That's true from the beginning.
He's seen the worst of her, and I think he knows how to deal with her the way she operates, I guess. So maybe they could work. I mean, if they like each other, I think he might be able to be like calm her down at times, level her. Yeah.
I would still like to see a little bit more of their dynamic together. So I'm glad if she's sending that text as her friends instructed her to do. That would be great. Then we can get an impression of like how they communicate on outside of the office and seeing just the personal life. Aside from that, it can be a little bit tricky with office romances. If it doesn't work out, how is that going to affect your work? For me, that's like, is that a gamble worthy of taking? Maybe she needs to kind of just figure it out. Maybe just kind of become friends at first before diving into something, So that's the only thing I would, excuse me with the hiccups. That's the only thing that I would bring up. Aside from that, yeah, I'm just kind of, again, if you could slowly see, like you said, about the Tiffany moving thing, of they're trying to wrap it up and this and that. And I would like to see, I'm excited for these last 3 episodes and to see where everybody else's closure or lack of closure ends up being. So, but those are kind of overall my impressions of the episode. Any other things that we maybe didn't mention that you would like to bring up?
Just we were talking about, as we were watching the episode, we were talking about how Issa's apartment has that conversation has already happened about Issa's apartment being a little too good for what she does and where she is. But this episode, when we saw it first, I don't know if we've ever seen that she had a balcony. No, this was my first time seeing it. But then on top of that, for her to have had that view, now that you're doing too much. And then Shalene noticed the outfit that she was wearing, the PJs.
Yes,
she knows it online.
Yeah,
it's like $200. Like, girl,
you're making decent a living now. You're not, you're not needing to do Lyft, but still, it's
and then the house is really nicely decorated.
Decor. You know how much furniture costs?
Stuff costs money.
It costs a lot.
So what?
I don't know.
So it's unrealistic, but at the same time, I appreciate it because it's visually appealing. It's way more appealing than it would be if we was actually looking at her budget.
Our own like
what we would be
standard, average black girl apartment.
Use that budget,
right? I mean, it's true. Yeah, this is TV after all, so they have to glamorize it a little bit.
And we'll take it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was kind of fun, just seeing friendship and just them evolving and all of it, and seeing how much history they have with each other and how they can help each other, with certain things. So, but yeah, thank you again. We're kind of long-winded, and thank you, Ethan, for visiting and sharing your thoughts. Thank you for these pajamas, Lord. Materia girls. But, all right, you guys. Thanks again for watching. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you next week for the next episode. Bye, Victoria. Thank you, and everybody else who's going to watch later. Take care, you guys. Have a good night. How do I pause it? How do I end it? Oh, Lord. Exit.